This is Attorney Timothy Crawford, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about the questions that we get asked from our clients. Many times they come in to talk to me and they want to make sure that their assets are not being spent to pay for their nursing home care. Now, they were smart enough to come in to see me before they were ordered by their doctor to be in the nursing home. Because if they wait until they're in the point where they're in the nursing home, then what happens? Well, the first problem that we have with that is we are probably limited to being able to protect only $100,000 of their assets. So for those that are smart enough and hear about us, and they're aware that we can help them by doing planning before they're sick, and preferably 5 years in advance of them being sick. But even if they can't give us the full 5 years, it's still helpful to do planning in advance. So what are some of the things that we do for people when they come in? Well, the first thing we do after we've been hired, we look at their situation and we decide how many assets can they safely keep and how many assets are what we call excessive assets that they should do something with so they're not forced to spend them on nursing home care costs. And we kind of work up an exact calculation of what we could spend on good things, not on nursing home care, but on good things, so they wouldn't have to spend it all on nursing home care when they get sick. And we take that calculation and we set that amount aside and we say those are the assets you can keep and you shouldn't have to worry too much. Come back in and see us about those assets when you're actually sick and in the nursing home. So what else do we do? Well, we look at what assets do they have. If they have an IRA or other retirement plan assets, we might say, you know what, those might be the assets you want to keep as part of that $100,000. Or if they have a lot of IRA assets, we can talk to them, do you really want to pay tax now? Maybe twice the tax you'd have to pay if you just took that out over a long period of time? Do you really want to cash those assets out, pay tax on them, and then take action to protect them? And a lot of our clients, when they realize that if they want to do that and do it now and do it immediate and do it all in 1 year, that they will usually double their tax bill. And they're going to be paying their tax bill now versus spreading it out over a number of future years. So that's where I come in as the tax attorney, CPA, board certified elder law attorney, and help them, guide them through that decision process. And many times we have people hold on to their retirement plan assets and will worry about that if and when they get sick. Now, what else do we do? Well, we look at their financial assets, checking accounts, savings accounts, stocks, bonds, CDs, mutual funds. We look at everything outside of that retirement plan. Obviously, they're going to need to keep some of those assets to spend. But many times we find out that they have excess assets, assets that they could put into a financial asset protection trust, where it will not have to be spent on nursing home care. And they can still retain the income from that trust, or in the alternative, they could direct the income to go to their children. So that's a very common technique to use to make sure that they don't own those assets and therefore they're not going to be forced to spend them paying for their nursing home care costs. Now, all of you are familiar with the rule. The government has a rule that says you can't give all your assets away on day one and on day two come in and see us and say, hey, I need help. No, the government's smarter than that. So they have a rule. When you apply for benefits, they want to ask you, what have you done in the last 5 years? And when you disclose to them the fact that you have gifts, which is perfectly okay and it's required to do, the government will make a calculation to say, how long do you have to private pay for your nursing home care before the government will help you? We call that the period of ineligibility. You will be private paying, you will not get government help. And so that's why planning in advance is so important. Wouldn't it be nice when you walked in and applied for government benefits that you were able to tell the government, I have made no significant large gifts in the last 5 years. So then the government's not going to punish you, not going to set you up with a period of time that you have to pay for your nursing home care out of your own funds, or maybe even the funds of your children. So that's why we encourage you and everyone you know to do planning in advance. We encourage you to think about it when you're age 50 and put those thoughts into action when you are age 65, because the government wants to know what you've done in the last 5 years. So the further in advance you can do your planning, the better off you are. However, if you can't make the full 5 years, there may still be some benefits into planning in advance. So keep that in mind. Now, I would encourage you to call my office at 262-634-6659 to get more information. You could set yourself up for a free phone conference, or you could have a free office conference where we can decide, is this the right thing for you to do? And we do this for a number of families each year. We would like to help you. This is Attorney Tim Crawford, 262-634-6659. Please give us a call. Thank you and have a good day.